Excellent. We will definitely go ahead and do that. Okay, great. Well, I see we've got many viewers as well on the line with us live here from all over America, Canada. We've got teams joining us also from Germany, from other parts of Europe, and I think even beyond that. So I would like to welcome everyone to this special 48-hour live launch stream into Prince Edward Island. A new group that's there, but they're doing amazing, and this really is for you guys, and so welcome especially to Kim, to Mark, and to all of your groups there. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys maybe after we've said a few words to you how your weekend has gone, and we're just really excited to be able to stream into your event live. I'm in my home in London, and my name is Sarah Smuss. And yes, and it's just such a pleasure to see the groups growing with INFINii, with this amazing opportunity all around the world. It's just a pleasure to be able to sit with you, and you know, Simon is joining us, my upline, my sponsor Simon King out of Thailand as well. We've got a very special corporate guest as well with us here today, and we're hoping for another corporate guest from INFINii Corporate. So, you know, we have tried everything to just make your day even more special and your event, you know, and then to allow all the teams that are not with you to see what you guys are doing and to be a part of this action and to also move their teams into massive momentum. So yeah, with that, I'm not going to say much more at this point. I'll come later on maybe and speak a bit about my work and what I do with INFINii. But first of all, I'd like to welcome John Kinnear, who's our VP for Marketing out of Vancouver in Canada. So he's not far away from you. Anyway, closer to you guys than to me in terms of geographical distance. And so, yeah, and I'd like to just ask John to say a few words to all of you and just to share some of the things he's working on, and maybe some things that you guys haven't heard of yet, what he's busy with. I know there's some exciting things happening behind the scenes. So with that, John, do you mind taking over? Thanks so much.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate that. And it's a pleasure to be here. It's certainly a pleasure to be representing INFINii Corporate at this ridiculously early hour of the morning. And I am especially impressed to see what's happening not only within Canada now, but certainly within Europe, with what Sarah, Simon, and the core leaders within their team are starting to generate with INFINii globally. You know, this is a project that idea has certainly come. E-commerce is absolutely taking the world by storm, and not only in the United States, not only in Europe, but all around the world. And so we really seem to have a product and identity that's resonating with many, many people. So I'm very happy to be able to say welcome aboard, especially at such a very early stage of the game. You know, you're getting involved in this at a pre-launch period of time where we already know what's going to happen with this project. We've got a very dedicated corporate team working behind the scenes to make sure that we drive this to $1 billion success for you, and I certainly don't say those types of things lightly. I've been in the industry for over 20 years now, always on the other side of the fence, always as a member of the field. This is my first time taking a corporate role, and the only reason I was willing to do so was I had a tremendous amount of respect for the ability and for the vision of our three founders, and felt like I really wanted to make sure that I played my role in getting this this message out and this format out that you could piggyback on to not only create a really dynamic income source for yourself with our product offering, but of course, you know, use a compensation plan that really is appearing to be second to none as far as a monetary payout is concerned. So, as you may well know from much of our publicity thus far, our existing members in our beta stage called DSD, where we were really sort of learning the ropes and building the programs and the code that makes membership with DSD special, and then taking all of that learning and then pulling that into INFINii. You already know that anyone involved in email or other e-commerce arbitrage with Amazon, eBay, Google if they're using our platforms, are generating 6 times more than any other eBay seller and 7.2 times more than any Amazon seller. Those are very, very significant numbers, and it really speaks to not only the vision that Kevin, Jason, and Hitesh have, but their ability to build software that really gives you a strategic advantage in this industry that's, well, it's going nowhere but up. I mean, statistically, if you've been listening to our webinars, you learn that $1.67 trillion in 2015 globally, and that's only representing 1.5% of all e-commerce activity worldwide. So 1.5%, as we start to see more tablet, computer, and iPhone use for e-commerce purchases, and that 1.5% moves to 2, 3, 4, 5%, you can see the types of numbers that we're going to be generating with e-commerce sales overall, and how a lot of that is going to have an opportunity to spill into your business. And then you're also going to see released this year some very dynamic things in our digital marketplace and INFINii marketplace. These two particular areas actually bring significantly more profit opportunity to you than e-commerce does. I know that sounds hard to believe when you hear some of the members and what they're generating with their e-commerce platforms, but the marketplace, and especially the digital marketplace, are very, very high profit arenas that you're going to also be able to participate in. So needless to say, you're in a very, very solid place. We've got a whole list of other special offerings and updates that are going to be available when we have a worldwide presentation on the 10th of this month. We've got a new website that's going live. We have a new promotional piece, a new video that's going live. We'll have these videos in multiple languages for you. We'll continue to add more languages. In fact, from our core languages, we've just recently had a corporate mandate I read yesterday where we're adding Polish as well. We're working on Chinese translations for all of our Prime, as well as our promotional pieces. So many of you who happen to have Chinese friends in your communities in Europe, you'll also be able to approach them to build their businesses and really see that yours starts to spread. So if there's anything specific you'd like me to discuss, Sarah, I'd be happy to do so. Otherwise, I'll turn the time right back to you.
Thank you so much, John, for that. Some people just started joining us now. Many more have joined us since you started speaking. So for all of those that are new to this live stream, we just heard from John Kinnear, our VP for Marketing with INFINii. So yeah, John, if I may just ask you, can you tell us a little bit more about the 3 founders that kind of started INFINii, and just a little bit maybe about their background? Thank you so much.
Certainly. Their background is really quite fascinating. As a network marketer, I used to watch what we call affiliate marketers, and these are those guys that were creating, those really busy-looking, bright yellow and bright red capture pages all over the internet. And we would hear stories about the people that knew how to do that really well and how they would generate obscene amounts of money by driving traffic from one product to another product to another product. And Kevin and Hitesh were both actually experts in that particular area. And there's a very, very short list of individuals that earn 7 figures a year sitting in front of their computer, building capture pages, building databases. And Kevin was one of those people, and Hitesh was also one of those people. And the idea of INFINii really started about 3 years ago with the two of them colliding in this particular world and having tremendous success together in this arena. And of course, Jason has been a very, very, Dr. Rose, who's a doctor of chiropractics, and has been, he's our CFO, so he's been involved in finance his whole life, and took his chiropractics firm from an individual practice and franchised that out to many, many locations, bringing a variety of services and benefits to other practitioners as well. So he's got some pretty interesting experience as far as the financial world is concerned, and of course we're in very good hands with him as our CFO. But really, when it comes to generating income online, writing software, writing code that makes it easier for the average individual to be successful online, what Hitesh and Kevin have been able to do is nothing short of amazing. So I was first exposed to them when I was living in Indonesia. I was working in the field building a program and having a lot of fun doing it. And Ken Eggleston and I have been friends for a long time, and Ken introduced me to Hitesh and to Kevin. And I just loved what they were doing with e-commerce so much. I was, as I mentioned, in Indonesia, and even in that particular part of the world where internet, let's just say, is certainly as not as developed the infrastructure as the Western world, we were seeing a ton of movement towards e-commerce at that particular time. That was 2 years ago there. And we're seeing Asia right now grow 4.5 times larger or faster than the U.S. as far as e-commerce is concerned. So when the opportunity arose for us to take this platform and technology these guys had been assembling, that's very much proprietary. There's no one else doing what they're doing. Even the software that Amazon and eBay have for themselves, it just doesn't hold a candle to what these guys have been able to develop. And now, of course, if you're not aware, we've got 63 different coders that work with INFINii. So we have a very, very big behind-the-scenes engine that's driving all of our new platforms forward and continuing to refine and add to the quality of our existing platforms.
Great, that sounds excellent. Also, John, can you tell us maybe where you see this company in 1, 2, 5, 10 years from now? Just what is your feeling about the future, and what we can expect here?
Sure. One of the things that I've seen so far is an ability by Hitesh to really look into the future and get what I would say is a very firm grasp of where this particular area is moving to. And so we have platforms that are at the planning stages right now that will be released over 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years that are going to continue to make INFINii relevant for you. So many leaders in network marketing have really been looking for a home, a place to hang their hat, so that they could really start to build out what they would like to think is their very last build within the network marketing arena. That build that's ultimately going to be able to propel them to financial security, financial retirement, which is, of course, the dream that everyone's looking for in network marketing. I was very fortunate in that I still generate a 5-figure income from a company that I built in 1997, and I've been earning ever since. I haven't actively been involved in that program, and that's really what everyone aspires to in network marketing. And that is what I really believe we see in the early stages of being built now. When you look at the success that our members on the product side have been having, it's really quite staggering, and many of you haven't heard a lot of those stories yet. You're going to start hearing them much more often now. We're getting ready to start a podcast for you so that you're going to be able to listen to some of these stories and these interviews with what have become e-commerce experts. Really started with us as students. Some people generating $5, $10, $50, $100,000 a month and more with their e-commerce businesses using these platforms. And these are techniques that anybody can use. And when you start to lay on top of that, the things that I'd mentioned are being built to release this year and next year and the year afterwards, those of you that are just getting started, if you're looking at INFINii for the very first time right now, you couldn't pick a better time, because you're getting involved at a very, very early stage, but you haven't had to be patient as we sort of build out our platforms or translate data into your language. If you are listening now and understand what I'm saying, you're in a very, very good shape. And of course, we have many more languages for these platforms being rolled out very aggressively this year. So you're going to be able to build a business not only in an English-speaking community, but in multiple languages all around the world. So we're very excited to have you on board. We're very excited to be building these platforms for you.
That sounds amazing. Can I sign up again or something? That's been wonderful. Okay, great. So basically, I also would like to now introduce, I'm very glad to see that Ken Eggleston, our VP of Sales, has joined us as well out of his home. I believe he's currently in Florida, but he'll tell us himself. Thank you so much, Ken, for making this hangout. We're really, really pumped to have you with us. We've got you know, a very excited group of people in on Prince, not Princess, Prince Edward Island, and yeah, I mean they're just amazing. They're phenomenal. They're building it very, very aggressively, and this hangout is really for them. But we also have people, Ken, that are joining us from literally all over the place. I know you just joined us a few minutes ago, so I'm just kind of going over that again. So if you don't mind to address everyone and to kind of share who you are, what's your background, why are you with INFINii, and tell us a little bit about maybe what you're working on at the moment, just to get these guys even more pumped up than they already are. Thank you so much.
By the way, while Ken's unmuting himself, I'll say to everyone listening, I've got family in Prince Edward Island. I've got a motorcycle trip coming up there soon, so I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of time with all of you.
Okay. I think Ken's got some problems. He can't hear us, he says, so he's trying to check out his system in the meantime to try to come on camera so we can hear him. In any case, while he's doing that, Simon, do you want to maybe share a little bit about your background? You're my sponsor in INFINii. Thank you so much for bringing me here. I know you chased me like hell over Christmas and New Year 2015. I'll never forget it. I don't think my answer machine ever had so many voicemail messages. But well done for sticking in there and for making sure that I got the message, and I'm very, very pleased to be here with you. So if you want to maybe just share a few thoughts from your side and why you're here and how things are going for you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Can you hear me okay? You can hear me okay, Sarah? Okay, good. Indeed, I did chase you, and I'm oh so happy I did. And as I said, if you had not answered one of my last calls, I would have actually been on the plane flying to London to go and knock on your door, because I've recognized what an opportunity we have here. You know, this is unprecedented, guys. I mean, for those in our team who have just joined this company that haven't been in probably, you know, the normal story in terms of network marketing careers, believe you me, there's a lot of landmines a lot of people have stood on, and some people have made money, the vast majority haven't. That's the reality and the fact of the matter is. And so I recognized immediately that INFINii is something very special. You know, it's, first of all, you know, got a good track record of the product actually working with the affiliates that originally came on board with us. Many of them, should I say, have done extremely well and are currently doing very well as well. I mean, this e-commerce is just going to get better and better and better as they've developed their e-commerce businesses, as will we, over the months and the years that they've been doing this. The fact of the matter is, these online platforms, these online retailing companies, eBay, these Goliath companies, eBay, Amazon, you know, Alibaba, you know, Shopify, Bonanza, are just going to get better and better and bigger as in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. So we're riding this massive wave. So we're at the beginning of a company that's just launching, which is phenomenal. I mean, the pre-launch of a company that is going to be absolutely huge. So we're certainly in the right place at the right time, and we've heard that bit of it, that cliche, a number of times. So, but the fact of the matter is that we're in the pre-launch of something ginormous. In fact, we're catching this pre-launch essentially of this whole e-commerce wave that's developing globally as well. So as eBay, for example, you know, becomes a household word in some of these other markets, which it's not really a big thing in some of the massive markets in Asia yet. You know, it's still a fairly new concept for people, so they haven't figured this out. So as we educate people around the world to start their e-commerce businesses and how to make money with eBay and Amazon and the rest of them, you know, the product is very, very strong. So this is a beautiful, beautiful business. And of course, you know, what I always love about the fact that we've got two incomes here. We're going to be developing our e-commerce businesses, and we're going to be developing our referral marketing businesses. And the nicest thing, the best thing that I like about everything that we're doing here, guys and girls, is that this is an instantly delivered product anywhere in the world to anybody in any country by the click of a mouse. So if you think about that for a moment, you know, I can phone up somebody in Russia, and on the same call, we can three-way call his friend in from London, and then from London, we can bring in somebody from Kenya in Africa or Tokyo, Japan, you know, and immediately they could sign up, they get their website instantly, and they have now a presence on the web with their education product intact, in place, in multiple languages. And the folks in Tokyo, Japan, London, in Kenya, or wherever else, can start to build their teams instantly in their countries, globally around the world, just like that. So I've been in a company where literally this has happened. I've seen this happen before. It happens very, very quickly. We are not restricted to a company that's selling potions, lotions, pills, skincare, hair care, and all the rest of the things where they've got to go through FDA processes and approval processes and set up, distribution warehouses and all that kind of thing. We are absolutely seamless globally. And right from that beautiful little island, PEI, you're going to see your organizations expand to China. Although you're probably thinking, now, who do I know in China? I don't know anybody in China yet. You're going to, believe you me, you're going to have people in China, in Russia, in Korea, in Africa, in South America, all coming through people within your organization at some level, somewhere, that somebody brings in who's got a cousin or a friend or a nephew or a business person or a contact in these countries. And all of a sudden, you're going to see your organizations and these legs grow. And they will continue to grow, and 2 become 4, become 8, become 16, become 1,000, become 10,000, become 20, and then 100,000 people. I'm telling you, it's a marvel to behold and to see and experience. And believe you me, guys, at this minute, being in the pre-launch of this company, and with an incredible product and team, corporate team that we've got, you're going to see this thing absolutely fold out exactly as I said. You mark my words. So that's really what I just wanted to touch upon briefly, and I'll pass it on to Ken, Sarah. Okay,
Ken, can you hear me? Can you just give me a quick thumbs up?
Yeah, you hear me on my end?
I do. Let me just quickly say again, I did a quick introduction of you, which you didn't hear before. So I just wanted to tell you, we've got people, obviously, that have come in from PEI that we're doing this actually for, but they have teams all over the place now. So we've got viewers, if you might want to say hello to them as well, outside of PEI, from the US, from Europe. So it's a very international group of people, and we're all very excited. And please tell us, Ken, what's going on behind the scenes? What's the company working on? What's kind of coming over the next few days, hours, weeks, months? Give us a little bit of your picture and why you're here. Obviously, that would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, sir, first of all, good morning to you. And as everybody can see, I was actually still asleep. I thought the call was at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and I was up until about 4:30 last night. So, John, first of all, thank you for calling me. Sarah, thank you for calling me. And I have extra caffeine loaded in my Tweety Bird coffee this morning, so I'm good to go. Anyway, with that comical start, and my apologies for being late, it's an exciting time for the company, to say the least. We've got so many different aspects that we're approaching right now as far as really finalizing the platform, because, and again, since I didn't hear what John went over initially at the beginning, I hope I'm not repeating anything, but coming out of our beta and really entering our pre-launch phase, I'm sure everybody's been receiving the emails with our countdown process on them. You'll know that we're approaching what we believe is really the start of the company, which is just a few days away. So it's an exciting time for us, and what's going to happen here is, along with the new launch of our website, the new website format, John, I'm sure you've mentioned the fact that the additional videos. So we'll have a full system for you. When an individual actually visits your website, it'll eventually just be a walkthrough. They've got three different videos. By the launch of the website this coming the 10th, then at that point in time there'll be 2 videos up there. John, am I correct on that?
Absolutely, Ken, and we'll make sure that we have them in pretty much all the languages that would be necessary to service everyone on this call. And we'll continue, as I mentioned, we'll continue to expand that list.
All right, well, that's outstanding. But, you know, what I really want to talk about, Sarah, is where this company is positioned and what it's to do. Simon, you hit on so many different parts there which are accurate. You know, I've been in the industry now. It's scary to say I just turned 50, which is surprising enough. By the way, these are new additions too. So those of you approaching that point. Plus, I got my AARP card in the mail. That's another wake up. But it's one that, you know, 20 plus years has flown by quickly. I entered this industry when I was in law school and also a commander with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, which is it's about the 11th largest sheriff's department in the country. And I was second in command at that department. I ran an operating budget of $350 million my last year there and 6,000 employees. So the reason why I bring that up is I had all the experience from the governmental sector and all the other things, and when I entered network marketing, I didn't believe in the industry. Matter of fact, I was just looking to go ahead and make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, and I saw that that was possible. I just didn't believe in the stories and everything else that were there. And what was amazing is that very quickly, you know, I was blessed with being able to become a top income earner. And the reason I mention that is because I came from a position of being a non-believer. If we look at the world today, how many different fly-by-night companies have popped up on the internet? How many of our contacts are being exposed to companies that they pop up and then they crash? And so a lot of professional network marketers are at a point in their careers right now, if they've been in the industry for 5 or more years, they're sick of moving, especially you know, Simon, old dogs like us that have been around for a while, you know, that have been in a couple different deals. It gets to the point where, like, okay, you want to find the one that's going to run. But lotions, potions, you know, weight loss, skin care, I mean, I don't care what it is, you have a hard time maintaining the base. That's why 95% of people fall off. But when Hitesh approached me, and I knew them when they were launching DSD. Matter of fact, I was you know, dealing with them in another company at that point because I was the vice president of global sales for a coffee company, and you know, we were doing great. And I just watched Hitesh, and I watched the way you know, Kevin and their systems were operating within our company, and they were the #1 recruiters. And yet he was an online affiliate. So as I watched Hitesh and watched him perform, I remember he came to me and he said, Ken, I'm going to go do this Amazon eBay thing, and you know, we're going to launch this affiliate platform. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, you go have fun with that, because how would you make money with Amazon and eBay? I didn't get it. But as I watched DSD and their pilot program, you know, just absolutely shatter all the records, and I watched people that were within my company and that had been part of my downlines in other companies that I'd never seen make more than $2,000 or $3,000 in a month, walking the stage making $200,000 or $300,000 in the year. And I was a speaker for DSD at some of their training events, and I just loved watching it. So when Hitesh approached me and said, look, our umbrella company is INFINii. Our pilot company that we launched here is DSD. I want to go ahead now and take the INFINii model and attach the most badass compensation plan possible and bring this out into the network marketing arena. And I sat there and I looked at him and I said, well, that would be pretty incredible. Walk me through this. And of course, I brought John in, and John and I began the discussions at that time with Hitesh. And where that brings this long conversation to is that we now have a compensation structure in here that allows us to actually have a 70% payout to the field on a 1-to-1 point-to-dollar ratio. For the last 10 years, I've been writing compensation plans for companies. So I sit down in the boardrooms of companies, two of which now do over $1 billion a year, and a vast majority of the others do between 100 million and probably I guess the other one's about 600 million a year. If I look at the span of those, so if I take those probably 26 companies that I've consulted for and built part of their compensation structure for, what's amazing to me is that when I sit down with the company owners, they'll usually say, look, I want to have the sexiest looking compensation plan, but I don't want to pay out more than 36 cents on the dollar. And this is what the average distributor or partner or member in the field needs to understand. It doesn't matter if a company owner says we pay out 50% to the field. Then the problem is that they first deduct COGS, the cost of goods. So if you're dealing with most companies that, especially nutritionals or product-based companies, by the time they say we're splitting 50% with the field, what they've done is they first deducted the COGS, and many times that'll be anywhere from 20 to 25 cents they're claiming on their cost of goods. So while they can legitimately feel that they're standing on stage saying we split 50% of commissionable volume, well, the problem is they're not actually paying on the dollar. They're giving you 50% of 75 cents. And that's usually how they play the game. So today, companies will pay out, the lowest ones about 28 cents on the dollar, and the top, most of the top ones are around 40, maybe 41 cents on the dollar. Now, I know this may seem boring, but I want you to fully understand the fact that we pay on a 1-to-1 point-to-dollar ratio. So with that, it's enabling you from a marketing standpoint to sit down with people and have them have the greatest opportunity for being able to promote this business in a very, very aggressive manner. And when you look at auto ships and everything else, you're going to see a dynamic and much faster business volume build on this. Now, Sarah, I tend to get very boring on the technical side of compensation plans and aspects. So what I'd like to do now is toss it back to you and have the members ask me any questions or anything else, because John's much more, what I would say about John, he's much more vivid in his presentations than I tend to be. I'm more black and white.
Ken, that sounded pretty sexy to me.
Along with my Tweety Bird.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much. That was actually excellent. I think, it's important that people understand where you're coming from and what you've done in the last, few weeks and the ground that you've prepared, and what's also still yet to come, because we're all like in a time of pre-launch now where, people are just now learning about this whole e-commerce world. I mean, I know, being in this industry full-time for 15 years as a network marketer, e-commerce is, to me, a very new subject, I'll be frank, and understanding it on a deeper level, also from a corporate perspective, I think helps strengthen everyone's not just belief in it, but just understanding. So I mean, can I ask you, where do you see this company? I asked this question to John also before, but where do you, Ken, see the company in the next 6, 12, 18 months, or even 5 to 10 years? If you don't mind, just to walk us through your vision with the whole thing. Thanks.
Well, to give you an idea, to take on the position that I've taken with the company, I had to release ownership shares with another network marketing company in this process. So, and that was a vesting situation, and that was caused by not our company but the other company. I wasn't allowed to go ahead and take a position like I have here at INFINii very publicly. Usually I'm behind the scenes as the consultant, kind of behind the curtain, doing the different things. So the reason why I bring that up again is that that would have been worth around $6 million to me for as soon as the company hit the $186 million investment point for payout on the shares that I walked from, which probably, I would say, about 3 years from now. That was almost a guarantee the company would hit that. So for those of you that are looking at this from a business standpoint, I have a very conservative side, you know, as you can probably tell. So for me to make a $6 million bet on this, because the shares would have vested out at $12 a share, you know, that's a major thing. So Sarah, when I look at the potential of INFINii, I look at a situation where there really is no ceiling to what the possibilities are. This isn't going to be a run where you see, you know, my good friend Holton over at Organo Gold. I take my hat off to him and everything he's done. And you look at different companies, whether it's, you know, Organo Gold, Jeunesse, you know, all have done well, but you see massive spikes and then massive declines or crashes in different countries. And the reason why that happens is that people come on the product, they go off the product. It's just a natural cycle. And you can't get people to switch from their favorite skincare, their favorite coffee for long term. And believe me, I was vice president global sales for a coffee network marketing company. So I'm just telling you that it's a reality. Well, with e-commerce, what the light bulb that was able to go on in my head after I watched the DSD formula was that, you know, this eBay thing, this Amazon thing, this Alibaba, myself being somebody that, you know, as you saw this morning, I had technical issues trying to get my microphone to work. You know, I'm the guy that's used to being in front of the hotel room and running the different meetings, and the online world is not my comfort zone. So as I've gone through this whole thing, you recognize that when you see UPS trucks, FedEx trucks, whatever delivery system is in your particular country, they're running up and down the streets all day long. You know, when you see that Amazon is now opening up a manufacturing, or I should say large facility in China, there is no stop to this. Everybody's moving across and is going to embrace the e-commerce model. So from a professional network marketer standpoint, you know, what's going to happen here is you're going to introduce people to the e-commerce side. Now, you may not be an e-commerce maniac. You may not be on there posting and doing everything all day long, but that doesn't prevent you from building a massive team that does. And this model actually offers the average person coming in the ability to significantly make money even if they don't sponsor anybody. Now, what other network marketing model could you possibly ever tell somebody, even if you don't sponsor anybody, you can still make a six-figure income on the e-commerce side? Well, that doesn't exist anywhere else in our industry. So we have the perfect situation for anybody that comes through, that they can go ahead and be successful even if they're not comfortable with doing that. Because remember, only about 10% of the population globally is comfortable with direct sales, or you know, being told no and just continuing on. Most of them aren't. You know, I would say, like myself, I used to keep a scorecard. If I got the most no's, you know, I remember when I was on. Some of you may know Advocare. I was one of the top income earners with them, and my wife and I were on the cover of their Power Trends magazine as one of their top income earners, and that was back in 1999. I remember when I was giving a lecture to one of the groups, and I said, they asked me specifically, because I'd sponsored like 300 and this is back no computer days. So I sponsored like 318 people in order to go ahead and find 12 strong ones. And they said, well, you know, how do you go through and sponsor so many people? And I just told them, you know, the only reason that, you know, I end up being top on the sponsoring numbers is because I get the most no's. And I remember them watching, scratch their head. I said, you know, the person who wins at this game gets the most no's. They're out there because, you know, it's a mathematical formula. You're eventually going to get the yeses if you get the most no's. And that is no longer a formula necessary for success in this model. The old days of talking about getting out and the 3-foot rule and everything else is not necessary with this e-commerce model. I mean, you know, there are times I get up in the morning and I look at this and I recognize that we literally have in our grasp right now the ability to be a multi-billion. Every network marketing company out there already gets up, we're the next billion-dollar company. I mean, it almost makes you want to throw up every time you hear it. But we literally have the ability to be a multi-billion-dollar company because we're riding on the coattails of the fastest growing industry the world has ever seen with the growth factors of e-commerce. If you take that e-commerce platform and know that we have a rock solid component that no federal government can step in and say is not legal, they can't come in and adjust different things on the e-commerce model. There isn't different FDA here in the US or anything else. This is a global heartbeat driven system that is just going to continue to grow. Now, with what we've attached, Sarah and Simon, I know you'll jump on this, with what we've attached, you can literally sit down with anybody, and if the person can understand Amazon and eBay, if they can look at the numbers being driven by them, and then if you can sit down with a person, even if they don't like network marketing, and you can simply say, how many people do you know? And this is really the questions that I ask anybody now if I'm talking. By the way, do you ever use Amazon or eBay? Their response is, 95% of the time, yes. Well, when's the last time they paid you for using their platform? And they just look at me like, what are you talking about? I said, how would you like me to show you how you can actually be paid by Amazon or eBay for referring their platform to other people? And the person's like, well, yeah, sure, I'd love to. I mean, all I see is all the money we spend on it, so what are you talking about? Those two simple questions or three simple questions automatically open the door to forwarding the videos. And by the way, John, I think you guys would all agree, has done a masterful job at creating the video, number one, that we see with what we call the Uber video. And then the second video, I'm excited, to see John's final touches on this thing come out. And then the third one will be the slide into the MLM model, because, we're going to have the ability, whether it's a customer or anything else, that you're going to have the business volume driven from them. Plus, remember this, within the binary structure, the dual team structure that I designed with Hitesh, customers receive a binary node in there. They can't see their back office as far as a team structure or anything else, but a customer actually receives a binary node. That's unlike any of the other plans out there that you have, because a customer, when they come in, that they're basically put off to the side, and they count as your just personal volume that ends up going up line. But if that customer says, you know what, Sarah, I would like to go ahead and refer other people this, I see the business possibility, and now they could actually enter the business by just paying $9.95. Not by, okay, well, now pick your business package, and your business package will be $500, $1,500, $2,000 if you want to make good money in the comp plan. No, they're already at their membership level. Now they can just pay $9.95 a month, and boom, they open up the entire rewards plan, and they don't now go to the bottom of the binary or dual team. Their position simply turns on like a light bulb. If you've built past them, this is the greatest upsell ever for customers, because now you could talk to, let's say, Joe. You say, hey, Joe, you see what's going on here. I've got 100 people below you right now. What do you mean, Sarah? You got 100 people below me. What are you talking about? If you paid $9.95 a month and began referring people to this, you already have a leg or a team built underneath you, and you can start making money with this. Let me show you how. There's no other model that you can have that type of an upsell and build below a customer and have them maintain that original spot in the binary. That was one of the special things that we designed to get this done. So, with that, again, Sarah, I go into numbers, and I'd like to sit here and go through a whole formula all day long. And if you could, I'd like to share one particular page that John and all marketers hate from the marketing standpoint, but that will show you some of the graphical and the number issues, which will be very clear. And John, I know you know which page I'm talking about.
Ken, I love that page.
You do not, brother. You hate it. So, Sarah, how do I, again, for the online novice here, how do I share my screen?
Okay, so on the top left-hand corner, you have a green arrow pointing right. If you click on that, it starts sharing your screen.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Let's see, slideshow from current slide. All right. And I do, whoops, opened the wrong window.
While Ken is teeing that up, that page that he knows I love, and that all of you are going to love when you see it. Um, I'll share just a little bit of the psychology behind some of the numbers that Ken was sharing. We know for those, and I know that many of you on this call have experience with network marketing, and many of you have a fantastic experience. And obviously, all of you are looking forward to having a good experience, or you would be on this call. And so I'm excited to have you here. Um, you know, Ken had mentioned earlier that there is a real fear for many individuals have in regards to the act of actually selling things. They feel like they're maybe being a burden to those around them. It's important, first of all, that you understand that that is not the case. If you're bringing value with what you're sharing, you are in no way a burden to those that you care about or those that you know. But even if that's something that you have a tough time overlooking, one of the great things about these platforms is that they're so simple, and it's so efficient for you to get to an extra $500 in your first couple of weeks of starting. That then gives you something of real value that you can share. And I'll tell you, psychologically speaking, there's a very, very big difference between sharing and selling. Mostly from your perspective, if you're someone who's uncomfortable with selling, you're sharing something of value. You can do it in earnestness, and you can do it without feeling like you are pushing a particular agenda on anyone. And that's one of the advantages specifically of this being such a trending topic. Things that are trending of this magnitude, these are water cooler type conversations, deals that you maybe found on an online site. There's nothing awkward about bringing those types of things up because this is part of everyday life that we're experiencing now. And Sarah asked about INFINii moving into the future. Well, not only is that not going to change, that's only going to become more relevant in the next 5 years as these companies get larger and larger and more of them pop up and business models continue to refine. One of the most important things and one of the things that makes INFINii so important is the amount of hours that are being put into making sure that our courses, that our education, that our technology is always current, it's always relevant, which is something that is very important in this particular arena because rules that were allowed on eBay and Amazon 12 months ago are not allowed today. And if you just simply watched a few videos online and ran your business that way, a vast majority of you would end up having your accounts shut off by Amazon and eBay because you're not staying current. So there's a lot of benefits to the platforms and to the software that we're rolling out for you.
Outstanding. So, Sarah, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, what I want to talk about here is don't get confused by all these numbers real quick. And there's a couple right here I want to talk about that were updated. Can you see, everybody see, and Sarah, I'm just going to keep going to you as my confirmation here. You see where I'm circling the arrow around the active requirement?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. When you come down here, I want to point out that all through manager levels now, regional manager and national manager, we only require, from here, these have both been lowered to 50 BV or the prime membership level. So the 150 is no longer here. And then the director ranks all the way through presidential director are only required to be at the surge level, which is 150. So you can see there have been significant changes within the BV requirements. And then we're only requiring an Excel level platform from ambassador and above. And remember that with the e-commerce side, this BV can also be generated, obviously, through the e-commerce platform as well. Now, we're really only looking at about 3% on all the e-commerce, transactions that are going to generate the BV. Once you look at on each sale, 3% would be pushed back onto the BV side. Now, while it doesn't sound like a lot, it's a considerable amount as you really get a team flowing. So you're going to find that your personal activity here, especially in a number of the different areas with marketplace and the things we have coming are so freaking exciting. But I don't believe, or I should say, one of the biggest problems that I see with network marketing companies is that they overpromise and underdeliver constantly. It's always the hype game for the next thing. So I like to stay focused on what we have, but what we do have coming is going to be pretty incredible. If you look at INFINIi's platform today, there's a potential for INFINii to become its own Amazon, its own marketplace, and that's where part of the future is going here, to really have a significant play in it. And that may be a little confusing, but you'll see as this starts to open up. But what I want to focus on here is this point in red right here, the director rank straight across here. This is the sweet spot within the compensation plan that you want to get to very aggressively. Now, all of you saw the changes to the team builder bonus that I'll be talking about on Tuesday's corporate webinar as well. But the fact that now we've made adjustments to that so that you can tap in and have the team builder bonus with just 2 lines of lineage being built out. But this idea at the director level right here, this is where you want to set your goal and your landscape of what you want to achieve, and you want to get there within the first 90 days because of that additional $10,000 bonus that's added on. So that's that's $20,000 in available bonuses structured in here. Now, I'm not going to go through a training on all the aspects of that right now because it's not the appropriate format, because it's not what we planned on here. But I want you to take a look at this lesser leg, because when you look at the lesser leg requirements, which is this column right here going up and down, this is what sets INFINii's business model apart as well, especially with the dual team structure, because everything within this industry, if there's a dual team or binary on the front end of it, all rank advancement is derived from your lesser leg volume or your monthly income. So you'll have companies that are out there, World Ventures, other ones that have done quite well, and they're basing it on either your monthly income for rank advancement, or they're basing it on your volume, and all of that usually is controlled weekly. Only a couple companies with dual teams actually allow for monthly rank advancement or accumulation of BV. We broke both those models because, number one, we don't go week to week. Most of the companies love to run every week. You have to requalify to be paid as. Of course, we know that paid as terminology is what you need to be a paid as Ruby, a paid as manager, whatever the company has. And they do it week to week because it's much harder then for you to continually get your business to requalify on a weekly level. So, that's a great advantage to the company. Well, number one, we took that and we made it monthly. So when you look at this 30,000 in red here, realize that that's a monthly number. So what are we really talking about you having to have in your total personal enrollment tree at that point? That personal enrollment tree at 30,000, we're not talking a lot. Lesser leg requirement is only 10. I want to make it clear that your lesser leg BV does not have to be your personal enrollment tree. Let's say that your sponsor brought you in, continued to build past you, and you were building, and I'm a big believer that we all have 2 teams to build. I don't believe in socialism at all, where you tell somebody, I'm going to build a leg for you. We're all responsible to build 2 legs. If your upline happens to give you spillover or places people below you, then you need to turn to them and say thank you, because it's icing on the cake. We all have a responsibility to build 2 legs. But in this scenario that I'm talking about, imagine if your sponsor did, or your upline did, end up giving you some spillover on a leg, and that those couple people took off and just built out. Well, if you then saw that happening, I would still always tell you to at least place a couple builders on that leg that's a common leg with your upline. But imagine then you took over and you were building your other leg out. Well, that 10,000 lesser leg requirement doesn't have to be personal enrollment tree. A lot of people get confused on that. They think, okay, I need 30,000 in personal enrollment tree, and 10,000 of that personal enrollment tree must be on my lesser leg. No, you could literally have 99% of this volume all on one leg. That's your personal enrollment tree, and I don't know what just happened. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, go back to that. You could have 99% of this volume on one leg, and all you have to do in our plan is have at least one customer or partner that's active on that leg. So it's a huge difference with most plans. Now, in addition to that, once you go to the senior director rank, you've hit the maximum that you're ever going to be required to have on your lesser leg, because what's the reality for the vast majority of people when they build a dual team? You know, you'll put your people on both legs, you have no idea who's going to take off, and then I've seen it before where you end up having, you know, 95% of your studs or studettes, those ladies and gentlemen that really take off and build a business, and they end up on one leg, and you've got this massive juggernaut building away, and your other leg is anemic. And companies love that because guess what? You've given them, let's just take an example, you've given them $1 million a month in volume on this juggernaut leg. And then your other leg's anemic, and guess what you're getting paid on? The anemic leg, because it's the lesser leg. So the company, you're generating all this business volume for the company, but you're not getting paid on it. Well, that's exactly why we built the accelerated dual team or binary model here, because even if you had an severely out of balanced dual team structure, it doesn't matter with us. Because although you can make up to $50,000 a week on the dual team, you know, you don't have to look at that as, okay, you know, it's awesome. You want to have that balanced two-team structure, and you want to try and balance those legs as best as possible. But if you run a wildly out of balance binary, you could still, even if on a monthly basis, you were only seeing $5,000 a week on average of business volume go through the lesser leg, you could still rank advance all the way to global ambassador as long as you had the 3 million in personal enrollment tree volume occurring within that. So, you know, this answers the question, because now you'll open up to $50,000 a week on each of your personally enrolled. So when you look at these INFINii PEI weekly caps, remember this $50,000 a week at the Global Ambassador. If you're aggressively sponsoring out, then I know all of you are professional network marketers. So when you look at the structure in place here, realize that if you have 5, 10, 15, 20, or you know, that number of personals that are building teams, but let's just drop it down and let's say you have over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, you focus on building 10 strong lines. Do you realize that's 50,000 a week times 10 that you could go ahead and run with? Because each one of those separates the line of lineage. So the binary, which will pay you up to you know, $50,000 a week or $200,000, that's great per month, but it's nothing in comparison to the INFINii PEI. So this is what, as we go through the trainings and get into detail with that, and by Tuesday, the basic rewards plan video training, well, I'm doing 9 separate videos on this that'll walk people through each segment separately. That'll be done and rolled out on Tuesday. So you're going to have all of this being able to be seen and understood, to be available in the back office, and we'll be able to take this and run with it. And then I'll do some advanced you know, training within the compensation structure for you. But each of you needed to understand that if you talk to somebody and they say, you know what, I just don't like binaries, I don't like dual team structures, say great, because this is really more of a unilevel structure. We've just added the dual team on the front of it to give you the icing and the cherry on top, you know, as far as having the best of both worlds, because this is a dual team or binary unilevel hybrid where your rank advancement is based on your personal enrollment tree, not your lesser leg. So a long way of talking through it, but what I would tell you is if you get on with anybody that wants to start critiquing anything, then just let me know and put me on the phone with them, because I love to get on with people that say they know something about compensation plans, because 98% of the time the people that are most critical about stuff tend not to really you know, recognize or understand it. So I'm always available for that. Sarah, back to you.
That was awesome, Ken. Thank you so much for that in-depth explanation of what you've put together with the company. I'm a huge fan of this compensation plan. I've been, like I say, full-time in this industry now 15 years. I built 3 large teams, and I've worked binaries, I've worked unilevels, I've worked hybrid plans as well, but this certainly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm part of INFINii now, but it's the most powerful plan I've ever built. So it's very exciting to be here. The timing is phenomenal. Also from my side, I can just say to all of you guys who are listening from wherever you are or from PEI, you just need to focus on the timing right now. We are in pre-launch, and I know a lot of you are trying to also figure out e-commerce and selling on Amazon, on eBay. I certainly don't know how to do that yet, but we will learn as we go. The thing is that right now the world still doesn't know in network marketing terms who INFINii is. That's my own experience. When I'm going out there and talking to big networkers, in most cases 97–8% of the time they haven't heard about this, and that's not just our experience on that's not just our experience on in the European. Hold on, Simon's saying that he can't see me. Let me try again. Okay. Can you see me? Can I just get a quick thumbs up? Okay, yeah, so it was just Simon's. Okay. And 98% of the networkers that I'm speaking to have never heard of INFINii until today. So the timing is phenomenal, and we're learning e-commerce as we go. It's an art in and of itself. I am a classically trained violinist, and trust me, I didn't learn to play the violin in the first few lessons, right? It took me time to practice it. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is as difficult as it is to learn how to play the violin, but you're with me, you're following my flow, and this is what I'm saying to everyone. Take action now and learn e-commerce as you're building your groups. That's my personal strategy. I think that's exactly what Kim and Mark and all the other amazing leaders in PEI are doing right now, which I actually want to turn the camera over to them maybe for a second and have them speak on microphone and just tell us what they've been doing since yesterday. So maybe, Roland, if you want to take over and just have, just tell us what's going on over there. We want to feel your excitement. Go ahead.
I'm just off to the side here. I'll hand it over to Mark. I'm controlling the controls.
Hello, everyone. Hey. Hi, Ken. Thanks a lot, John and Ken. We had a chance to meet the last few days versus Skype and so forth. But we live in a small town, 6,000 people in Stratford, Prince Edward Island. Beautiful beaches, and it shows that network marketing can be done virtually, can be done globally through these platforms. A lot of us didn't know of INFINii about 2 weeks ago. And now there's an organization growing strong, not just in Canada, but in a lot of markets. We've got a chance to meet Simon. Absolutely, mate. 100%. And Simon keeps us all cheerful and going, and you need that. You need different personalities to bring this business out. We've had John help us out quite a bit at the beginning, trying to get us to understand the e-commerce side and what the platforms do. And certainly I know for people who've been in networking, Ken, the compensation structure, I've had a chance to mull it over, and I do believe it has the potential to pay out powerful incomes to those people who get it. And it's our job to help teach and train that. So we're very excited about INFINii. We're excited for all the people across Canada and the United States that have partnered with us in the very early phases. You're looking at a very small group that will duplicate and grow because of the platforms you guys put together. So thank you very much.
Outstanding.
Woo! Absolutely.
Now, I don't see coffee in anybody's hands up there, so am I the only one that slept in on a Saturday?
No sleeping in here.
We've had our share of coffee, and this is really a chance to get a group of people together to really see the vision of what the company had to offer before it really goes live, but also just to get people connected. Sarah does an amazing job on Skype for us, getting people connected all over the world. Simon, it's really nice to have people in different time zones, so every time we wake up, we can be working with a different group of people. And so we appreciate you taking your time out on a Saturday morning to spend it with us, and John as well. We're fellow Canadians, so John understands the East Coast. We have an open door, John, to my house anytime you come down. I mean that sincerely. And everybody around here knows that my doors are always open.
Yeah.
That's what we do, and so we do well. So.
That's why I got you an INFINii.
Exactly. Got some really great people on the line that aren't here at the house today. Down in Tennessee and Denver, Colorado, across to Calgary, Lane Hudson to Calgary. And, Sarah is over in Halifax. Some amazing people that love e-commerce. They want to work from home, but more importantly, they want to make incomes from their family. And my wife just walked in the back end, but she's a great host for all of us so that we can be here with you guys today.
I don't think they can see you. No.
We're excited, and we'll turn it back over to you guys.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Mark. You just have infectious energy. Every time I talk to you, Kim, any of the team, what is it up in PEI? Is it the air? Is it what do you do? Like, you're such an amazing person.
Sarah.
That's amazing. Okay, so I would say I'll give maybe the closing word over to Simon. Simon, we haven't heard from you in far too long. Why don't you leave us with, one of your famous, how shall I say to you? You just get the groups also very, very motivated. So thank you for doing an amazing job, and thanks once more for chasing me. I really appreciate your, you're really, how shall I say? You really put everything into it. I really wasn't ready for it at the time, but you made the time the right one. So for that, thank you again, and go for it, my friend. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's just really phenomenal to see this actually start to manifest with just the most wonderful people around the world. This is a particularly fantastic team, and really, I love the word in INFINii that we are partners, not distributors, or the word partner is very correct. We really will start building our partnerships as we grow with this company. And really, part of the INFINii family. I mean, we're going to grow together as business partners, and we're going to help each other's businesses grow around the world globally. And we're really becoming a close-knit business partnership, but also great friends. I mean, we're going to create friendships here that'll go on for the rest of our lives. And as we support and help each other, achieve this financial success for our families, in the months and then years to come, it's going to be a wonderful thing to behold. So really, we're more than partners. In fact, we're really part of a family here. And I've never seen that more than in this company, because really, as Ken says, and as I've always said, we've got two forms of income: the referral rewards plan, which Ken has just explained to you, which is absolutely, there I go again, absolutely phenomenal, guys. No, but it truly is. I mean, there's no plan like this ever. There has nothing like this ever been released. So, with all the other wonderful things like this digitally delivered product, huge, and of course, without even sponsoring anybody to be able to earn income through the e-commerce side, our product makes us money. The concept is so strong. It's just fantastic. So, I'll just finish with this. As far as I'm concerned, all roads lead to INFINii, ultimately. So that's really what I want to say. And it's going to be fantastic working with you guys.
Awesome.
So yes, I'm back here. Thank you so much, Simon. What was that? Okay, we're stop laughing now. Kim, hey, you haven't said anything. Kim, I'm going to put you on the spot. Say something. You just have to say something. Come on.
Sarah, I just actually loved you saying I'm back. That was awesome right there, coming in. But it's, to me, guys, this is just all going to be about having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I do. I think most network marketers, like I said before, I've never seen a time where seasoned professionals are more tired of the out of control hype and all the other junk out there. They're looking for a solid play that they can trust in, and that is not going to have a product that has any issues in different markets. This is just going to be something that we all have a very easy model to sell and understand. And the vast majority of your network marketers, let's just be honest here, we're not e-commerce builders. We are the recruiters for the e-commerce masses. So what Sarah touched on before is 100% accurate. If I was entering today and I was in your shoes, I would have 10% of my time focused e-commerce and 90% of my time focused on building that base of partners within the organization, because the e-commerce business is there and it will always be there. The contacts that you have within the industry will not, because they are going to, it's just like real estate. You guys are on a beautiful island up there at Prince Edward's. I mean, you look at other avenues that are around. There's only so much oceanfront property, and I always like to talk in terms of real estate. Once that oceanfront property is going, you can't get it. Well, there's only so many oceanfront property equivalent professional network marketers that are out there. And once they're contacted, then they're gone, because they're locked and they're in on a team. So you want to spend your time right now building the team, and then during the downtime start looking at the e-commerce stuff, because the masses are going to come in. It's beyond critical that you do this. The biggest mistake I'm seeing some people come in and do right now is they're coming in saying, okay, let me learn the e-commerce model, and then after I learn it and start selling online, then I'll talk to, you know, other contacts I have. It couldn't be a bigger mistake to take it that way, because the e-commerce, like I said, it's going to be there. Don't get stuck in the quicksand or quagmire of doing that. Now is the time to reach out to everybody you know.
Okay, bye everyone. I'm going to just leave you with that. I know you've got a probably busy day still in Prince Edward Island. I wish I was there, but I'm there in thought. So anyway, if you need me, Skype always connects our thoughts, right? And also our actions. So yeah, anyway, let's go do some three-way calls. Let's go sponsor the world, okay? We'll see you soon.
All right, guys. We get it.